Look at these. I mean, from red ones and green ones and yellow ones and even purple and all sorts of chili colors available out there. There's such a large selection. I'm going to be planting some chilies today for the Plantinfo food garden, and I'm taking you along with me. Now, some of the interesting things about chilies is that these guys have been used for centuries, and for a very long time people have been domesticating sort of the genes of these guys. And what's really cool is what I've got here from Kirchhoff's are some heirloom seeds, and these are genes of chilies that have been passed down generations after generations, and they are the ones that make for the best eating. So that's what we're going for here. I'm going to be planting some chilies today for the Plantinfo food garden, and I'm taking you along with me. So let's jump into it. I've got here some of my sterilized little sowing trays, and I'm going to be using a very basic soil mixture. Chilies do germinate rather easy if you know what you're doing. So what I'm going to do is jump in with a bunch of normal compost. This is normal compost from Bark Unlimited, and I'm just going to, this stuff, I tell you, you guys have to try this. It's absolutely beautiful product, I'll tell you. Okay, so handful or two, just normal compost, shake it nice and even, firm it down a little bit, and luckily for me, this is moist already. If your compost is a bit dry, you want to water it before you sow your seed. Okay, lovely. Now we've got, look at that, beautiful, nice tray with level soil. There we go. Now it's time to sow our chilies. Yes, boy. Okay, so quite important when it comes to sort of sowing any seeds, you don't want to be mixing different types, sowing in the same container, right? So you can label them and keep track of what's going where. Okay, so make sure you sow one packet into one container. I'm going to jump in with these beautiful little guys over here and just rip it open at the top. Now, I'm sure many of you are familiar with what a chili seed looks like. So chili seeds are rather small, right? And what that means for me and you is that we need to sow them very shallow. Typical rule of thumb, you sow any seed about twice its size in depth. And you'll see also you don't get as many chili seeds as you do some other flowering plants. So I'm going to go ahead and open this packet right into the palm of my hand, and then slowly, carefully spread them all along my compost over here. Right, and very clearly you can see where they're landing, which means we'll know when they're planted too close to each other. There we go, just getting my last little seeds evenly spread. And I don't know if you can notice, but it's rather windy here by me, and that's not the best day to sow seeds, because as you can imagine, the wind comes and it blows your seed away. But if you be careful and sowing chili seeds, you should be okay. Now, look at that, beautiful. Our seeds are evenly spread all over our little tray, and we're just going to come over up on the top with a nice thin layer of vermiculite. Okay, and all the vermiculite is going to do is keep our seeds nice and damp and moist, and it's going to make sure that they make contact with the soil beneath. That's the important part. We want our seeds to make contact so that they can germinate. Okay, now remember, we don't want to go deep. Okay, we're just planting them shallow. There we go, beautiful, look at that. Chili sown in nicely, and now, of course, we've got to hit it with some water because this vermiculite is still dry, and we want to make sure we get a nice soaking. Let me show you the right way to water a newly planted seed tray. There's our little chili seed tray, and I'm just going to come with a normal watering can, and you'll see a start. Do you see that squirt? That initial squirt is going to throw all your chili seeds in one pile. So what we want to do is start next to it and then slowly move over. Look at that. Oh yes, lovely. Just slowly water him in all the way. And how do you know when there's enough water? The water starts coming out the bottom. Okay, there we go. Lovely. Oops, I've got my whole station messed up here now. That's okay, we'll worry about that later. Now, okay, so our seeds are watered in nicely. They're planted well. Last step is a label. Okay, now I've got some lekker labels over here, boom boom, and we're gonna keep his name close by. Now what I write on here is the date, what I planted it with, and what it is. Sometimes it doesn't last very long, but it does work, is to put your little packet over your label. But make sure you write your date and everything on here, that you know you've got a good copy. Okay, here we go. I'll stick him in there, and I'll stick him in there, and beautiful. I'm gonna be doing this for all my chilies. Pop them straight on the windowsill, in the greenhouse, even outdoors, they should be okay. And then you're going straight into the food garden. So you're gonna be waiting about a few weeks for these guys to germinate, just till they're big enough to touch and handle, and then we're gonna come scoop them out with a teaspoon, and into the garden they go. Couldn't be easier. And that's how you sow chilies. Thank you again for your time. Thank you for spending some of your day here with me, the garden guy. Until next time, happy gardening and happy chili seed sowing. And of course, in the capsicum family, or in the capsicum genus, there's thousands of different capsicums.